It's time for the RMAC Radio Show, featuring all the latest information from around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. The RMAC is a proud member of NCAA Division II. Now, here's your host, Eric Danner.
Welcome to the RMAC Radio Show. Eric Danner coming to you once again on tape for most of you, or not really live. I was going to say live. We're here in the studio of the RMAC offices. Once again, this is going to be available on the Altitude website under their video section. It'll be available on YouTube, also available on the radio for those of you listening to the RMAC Radio Show. Then you won't be seeing this. But anyways, we got several different formats we're using once again. Going to change things up a little this week, though. We're doing women's basketball first. We're going to have a great show for you today. We got Abby Jackson going to be on in just a few minutes. Lewis Wilson, the men's basketball coach at Adams State, doing a great job with the Grizzlies. He's going to be on in segment 2, so you have to listen to that one. That won't be on the video segments, but we're going to start with women's basketball this week. We started with men's last week, so we're going to kind of divvy that up this year. And in women's basketball, boy, we've got some great teams in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. We had a big game this past weekend. Metro State playing Colorado Christian. Both teams were undefeated in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, and Metro State comes out on top in that one, 72-56. So Metro State moves to 9-0 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. They are now 13-0 overall. Colorado Christian drops to 8-1. They are 9-3. Cassandra Bratton gets RMAC/Baden Defensive Player of the Week. She is averaging, or this past week averaged 13.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and she's got a great story. She's from Arvada, Colorado. Originally went to the University of Denver, played a few years back, had a child, and now is back finishing up her career at Metro State and playing well. Didn't even miss a beat during her time off. So congratulations to her. The Offensive Player of the Week goes to Kendra Coviel from Adams State College, 5'8" senior out of Albuquerque. She had 21 points, 8 rebounds in the Grizzlies' win over New Mexico Highlands. She went 13-12 against Western New Mexico. Also shot better than 30% from the field, I believe, in those games. So congratulations to both of those players. But the team that continues to rock and roll in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, how about those Fort Lewis Skyhawks, now 9-0 in the conference with a couple more wins this past weekend. They're now 14-0 overall. We're now joined on the RMAC hotline by senior guard Abby Jackson. Abby, how's it going today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Abby. Hey, want to wish our congratulations to your success over the past couple of years. Now, you come to Fort Lewis 4 years ago. You didn't transfer from a junior college. You played all 4 years there. Did you expect when you signed to play basketball in Durango that you would be a part of such teams that are having such national success?
To be honest, I think I'd have to say no. I didn't ever expect it. I expected us to be good and everything, but to make it to the national tournament all 3 years so far and what looks like to have a great chance this year and everything, I can't really say I expected that to happen whenever I signed my letter of content.
Talking with Abby Jackson, and you come from Tulsa, Oklahoma, not exactly normal recruiting grounds for the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. It's usually, Colorado, maybe some Arizona there in Durango, some New Mexico. How did you go from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Durango, Colorado?
Well, it ended up, I was at a tournament in Kearney, Nebraska, the Miss Basketball Tournament, and Coach Kellogg's assistant coach at the time, Amy Moore, was over there, and Coach had told Amy to look for kids from the west side of Oklahoma and whatnot, and then she called Coach Kellogg one night and said, "Where's Tulsa?" And he was like, "Well, that's more, that's a little bit further east than we were looking at," but he was like, "We can give it a shot." And I'd also vacationed in Pagosa Springs, every summer since I've been like 4 years old. So I was kind of familiar with the area and everything, and I came up on a visit and fell in love with it right away. Loved the girls, loved Coach Kellogg, and it just seemed like the perfect fit.
We're talking with Abby Jackson, senior guard for Fort Lewis College, the only returning starter from last year's team that went to the national championship game. So coming into this year, Abby, kind of a lot of questions about the Fort Lewis women's basketball team. The coaches picked Adams State to win the league. You know, you're the only returning starter. So did you have an idea coming into this year that your team would be sitting where you are now, number 3 in the country here in January?
I definitely thought we were going to be really good this year. I knew we lost a bunch of girls, quite a few seniors, but at the same time, I knew the girls that we had that were going to take those senior spots and knew how good they were. And, I mean, look at Dana Schreiber. She's doing amazing. You know, Jenna, Mary, all those juniors, they just picked up right where we left off. And, I mean, we didn't miss a beat, and it just, I mean, whenever I looked at who we were losing but who we had, I definitely thought we would be really good this year. I mean, to say that we would be undefeated right now and 3rd in the nation, I mean, I can't say I would predict that, but I definitely thought we were going to be pretty good this year.
Talking with Abby Jackson, she's currently averaging a little better than 10 points a game, a couple of rebounds a game. She also leads Fort Lewis in assists with 55, also has 27 steals on the year. And Abby, being a senior, you mentioned Dana Schreibvogel. Boy, what a breakout season she's had. You know,
yeah.
Especially when you guys lose an Allison Roselle, who had been the player of the year in the conference the year before. Dana's numbers might even be better than hers this year.
I think they are. I don't study them, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if they were.
Did you think Dana was going to be that kind of player after kind of having to sit on the bench the last couple of years?
I definitely knew she had the ability, just seeing her in practice and then seeing the things she could do in games. I definitely knew she could be so good. And whenever you go from being a backup player to a starter, you gain a level of confidence that you don't have before whenever you come off the bench. And I think that level of confidence just helps her game soar because she's playing great right now.
Talking with Abby Jackson of Fort Lewis College. The Skyhawks will be playing at Colorado Christian this Friday and then Colorado Mines on Saturday. Abby, the Colorado Christian's a team we didn't know a lot about. We talked to Coach Hayes last week. They wound up losing to Metro, but again, CCU looks like to be one of the top teams in the league this year, so you know you got a tough weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big weekend. We have a big next couple weekends, really, but, I mean, you got to take it one game at a time, and we play CCU first on Friday, and it's definitely going to be a big game. We know they have a lot to bring, and they're a good team, and they're pressuring, and they're all over the place, and, I mean, even though they just lost to Metro, they've still only lost one game in conference, and, I mean, they're not just barely winning games. They're winning games by a lot, and it'll definitely be a good game. We're definitely going to have to come prepared and ready to play, and, I mean, we're playing on their home court, so, you know, that's a different ball game right there.
Talking with Abby Jackson, she's a 5'4" guard out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, went to Memorial High School, playing for the Fort Lewis College Skyhawks. Now, coming into this year, seeing that you're preseason all-conference, did you kind of have an idea that you would be the leader on the team, or do you see yourself as the leader of this team?
Yeah, I definitely see myself as the leader of this team, just being the point guard and the only senior. You know, that's a role I definitely wanted to take on, but I also needed to take on just because, you know, you always look to your seniors. Last year, I know it was being such a heavy senior team, we looked to them a lot, so I knew that I was going to have that responsibility. And then just being the point guard, you know, I got to be the coach on the court for the coaches. You know, they expect me to do a lot, and I love that role. I love being the leader and having the girls look to me and everything. But we have so many leaders on the team. You know, everyone is leading in a different way. If it's not vocally, then it's just by their actions and whatnot.
Talking with Abby Jackson, you're a senior. You got a business administration marketing option major. I know we're on the all-academic team last year. I would anticipate again this year. Do you have some plans once you graduate as far as what you want to do?
I think I would like to get into some kind of sports marketing. I want to stay involved with sports, but I don't think I want to be a coach right away. Get out in the real world a little bit and look at doing some sports marketing. I know there's some places back in Oklahoma that I have, even, you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder and whatnot, but and there's some colleges there, but that's what I'm looking at right now. But to be honest, it's not anything set in stone. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Well, I'm still trying to figure it out, and I've been out of college for quite a while here. So I also see on your bio here, it says your favorite TV show is Jersey Shore, Is that still your favorite show, and do you have a favorite character on that show?
See, the characters I think are just absolutely crazy and dumb. Actually, me, Dana, Andrea, and Mary Rose, we all love to get together and watch that show just because we think it's so dumb that it's just so funny. And actually the season premiere was last week, and we all got together and watched it and talked about it. And it's just so funny. It was kind of a joke when I put it on my bio because they were like, you won't put that. And I was like, watch me. So I put it on there. But it definitely, I have to admit, it's definitely one of my favorite shows right now just because of how entertaining it is.
Well, you got to like that reality television. Well, Abby, want to thank you for taking some time out today. I know you got to get in the weight room and get ready for your games this weekend, so good luck.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Okay, that is Abby Jackson, the starting guard for the Fort Lewis College Skyhawks, ranked number 3 in the country. Once again, they play CCU and Colorado Mines, and also she's a big fan of the Jersey Shore. And for more on what the situation is around the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, let's head over to Garrett Ratonia, another big fan of the Jersey Shore, over at the RMAC Sports Desk.
In RMAC women's basketball, a couple of teams remain undefeated. Fort Lewis, ranked number 3 nationally, sits atop the RMAC with a 9-0 conference mark and 14-0 overall record. The Skyhawks took down both New Mexico squads this past week in dominating performances, outscoring them 152-60. The other undefeated school is Metro State. The Roadrunners are 9-0 in the RMAC and 13-0 overall. Metro won 2 home contests against Christian and CSU Pueblo. Cassandra Bratton is the RMAC/Baden Defensive Player of the Week. Colorado Christian is in 3rd with an 8-1 conference record. Christian defeated Regis before falling to Metro State in a matchup of undefeated conference foes. Mesa State sits in 4th at 6-4 in the RMAC and 9-5 overall. The Mavericks split a pair of road games this past weekend by defeating Pueblo but losing to UCCS. A whole mess of teams sit at 5-4 in the conference, 5 to be exact. Those include Adams State, CSU Pueblo, Nebraska Kearney, Regis, and UCCS. The Grizzlies, 10-5 overall, defeated both New Mexico schools. CSU Pueblo is 8-5 overall. The T-Wolves lost to Mesa State before defeating Western State. UNK is 6-7 overall after taking down in-state rivals Chadron State. Regis, also 6-7 overall, lost to Christian and Mines. UCCS moves up to 6-7 overall as well, notching 2 wins against Mesa State and Western State.
We're not sleeping on anybody, I think. That's the way we have to play in order to win, and so far we've been really committed to that.
Colorado Mines is next at 3-6 in the conference after dropping a close 5-point contest against Metro and defeating Regis by 1. Western State is 3-7 in the RMAC and 5-9 overall after losing both road games this past weekend against UCCS and CSU Pueblo. The Cowgirls of New Mexico Highlands sit in 12th at 2-8 after falling to Fort Lewis and Adams State. Rounding out the standings are 2 teams looking for their first RMAC win. Chadron State, 0-9 in the RMAC, lost their only game against UNK, and Western New Mexico, 0-10 in the conference, fell in 2 road games to Fort Lewis and Adams State. I'm Garrett Ratonia, and this has been your RMAC Women's Basketball Update.
Thank you, Garrett. When we come back, we're going to talk men's hoops with Lewis Wilson, the head men's basketball coach at Adams State College. You're listening to the RMAC Radio Show.
Seltzer. Oh!
The madness is about to begin.
Here come the Roadrunners. Reggie Evans in the paint, lays it up and in.
The goal, winning the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference basketball tournament. The destination, the RMAC Shootout at the Colorado State Fair Event Center in Pueblo. Friday, March 4th and Saturday, March 5th. The road to the NCAA Division II tournament goes through Pueblo. For times and ticket information, go to rmacsports.org.